One of my favorite topics to talk about is growth. Why? When I started to read about leadership in the book 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell, he intentionally puts the first law as the law of the lid. It really says that as a leader, my leadership effectiveness cannot grow beyond my ability to lead. And so my ability to lead is the lid on my effectiveness as a leader. See, everyone in life has a lid. Your mind has to grow. If your mind does not grow, then you cannot get better results in your life. Just like a seed, it needs the right environment. It needs to be watered. It needs to be nurtured. It needs the oxygen. It needs the sunlight. There are elements and components made up in the environment around the seed that adds to its growth. Your mind is just like that seed. It needs the right components in the environment to allow it to grow. Let me ask you a few questions. You've got to be intentional about growth. Growth is not by default. Growth is by design. When you are not growing, everything that you put your hands to cannot outgrow you. Nothing in your life outgrows your thinking. Your thinking first, then the growth that you're going to see in your life. The growth is like the cart, right? Your mind, if you don't grow in your mind, that's like the cart. That's like the horse, sorry. The horse has to go before the cart. The cause has to go before the effect. The sound has to go before the echo. What's the sound? The sound is the growth of the mind. The echo is the results that you will get from the growth of the mind. So, what are you intentionally doing to grow? It has to be by decision. I have to ask you a question. What books do you read? Whose counsel are you around? Can I tell you? If you are around chatter, just random chatter, what's going to naturally happen to you is if you pour in garbage in, garbage out. If you listen to a lot of gossip, that's not adding to the growth of your mind. You need to be around good counsel. The word actually says, blessed is the man, or growing or expanding or prospering is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Why? Because counsel adds to the growth or takes away from the growth of the mind. The mind needs those right words. Why? Faith comes. How does faith come? By hearing, and hearing what? The word of God. So the word comes in, it builds faith, and what is faith? Faith is the victory that we overcome the world. So you have to grow in your mind, and it's got to be intentional. What seminars have you gone to that will allow you to be in an environment of growth? Who's your coach? Who's your mentor that holds you accountable for your growth? What are your results? If I don't know my number, I can't grow my number, but my results show if I'm growing. So I want to encourage you today. The mind has to grow. What components, what elements do you have in the environment of your life that's directly feeding your mind? Feeding your mind so that it will grow. Your results will not outgrow your mind. You've got to get the mind to grow. Feed it, water it, make sure it gets the sun, make sure it gets the oxygen, make sure it's getting the contribution from the elders, the mentors, the coaches, the right environment. And I promise you, just like the law of the lid, when you raise your ability, your maturity in your thinking, I think the book says that when I was a child, I spoke like a child. I did a lot of childish things. But when I became grown, when I matured, I threw those things away. Why? Because the mind grows. And when the mind grows, childish things or things that you used to do when you thought immaturely, you throw those things away because you've now introduced yourself into things that now go in alignment with your maturity. I want to encourage you, feed the mind so the mind can grow. When the mind grows, your thinking grows, your life will continue to expand. See you on the next module.